Wow, that is a strange statue. I know you have 3 questions.
Who is my daddy and what does he do?
First, did you just get this statue, Mr. X? Second, why are you reviewing him today? And third, why the hell is he doing the shocker? You've tuned into the Extreme channel. My name is Mr. X. We are about extreme collectibles, at least today, and we are going to review this XM Studios 1/4 scale comic version Doctor Strange statue. Before we get started, we are doing some giveaways. First, you can win one of these 2 Venom statues. All you have to do is like this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and when we hit 10,000 subs, you will be instructed further. Second, we are doing monthly giveaways called Extrizes or Extreme Prizes. You just have to comment on a video. The more videos you comment on, the more likely you will win. To answer some of those questions at the beginning, as you guys know, the Cobra virus is still rampant, apparently, which means deliveries from overseas are greatly slowed down. So I decided let's review one of my older pieces that I've never reviewed before, and just being honest, he was the easiest to get. He was right there, so I just grabbed him. Not, inappropriately, but I grabbed him. I was being lazy. But let's dive in. So this is officially, as I said, this is from XM Studios. That's the manufacturer. And this is Doctor Strange, their comic version of him. So if you're used to the Doctor Strange played by Benedict Arnold or whatever his name is, this is not him. This was actually made before Doctor Strange was even introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I've never been a big fan of Doctor Strange in the comics. He was okay. I did like him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I look forward to the upcoming releases with Doctor Strange. And I purchased him for a few reasons. First is I wanted to complete my Avengers line, which I'm soon disassembling. Get it? Avengers disassemble. Second is you can get a really good deal on this guy. So because Doctor Strange isn't a really popular character, they made 1,000 of these and not a lot of people want this. He originally retailed at 950 Singapore dollars, which is approximately 720, 730 US dollars, depending on the exchange rate. And you can get him for under that shipped traditionally nowadays, brand new. Not only that, but one of XM Studios' biggest competitors, Sideshow Collectibles, recently revealed this Doctor Strange piece. So a lot of competition for a character who's not as popular. But let's dive into the Extreme review, because while I haven't seen the Sideshow piece in person, obviously, I think this beats it, just my opinion. And we'll start with concept, and this is really where a lot of the power in this statue is. You have a couple different things going on. First, he has this pedestal, which holds a book of spells on top of it, and the pedestal is awesome. It's made up of all these different arms. We'll look at it closer. But the really cool thing about Doctor Strange here, you got a lot of different things incorporated. He is levitating. He's really levitating. And not only that, but it shows the use of his cape or his cloak. It shows the Eye of Agamotto, I think that's how it's pronounced, on the bottom. That's actually a light up feature I never use. And I can finally say it on a statue. He is literally sitting there or floating there, ready to do a spell, ready to fight an enemy. Who knows what he's doing. As I said, he has the shocker ready on one hand, so it's kind of sexual in a way. And he has a couple different portraits, but both are very serious. Almost a little too serious, so he's not really meditating. But just such a cool different concept. We'll talk about some of the switch outs he has, but I really like it. I think it's what makes it unique. I've never seen anything like this before, and it's a good job by XM Studios. They really encompass, hey, I'm going to show Doctor Strange, I'm going to show his magic without making little sparkles come out of his finger or something like that. So very, very cool. I give the concept, I think, a W. I think it's a rail. It's a 4 out of 5. The reason it's not an X, or maybe it should be triple X, is because of what he's doing with his hand, and I think the portraits are a little too serious for meditation. Where if you look at below his chest, it's more of a meditation stance, where above his chest is more of a fight stance. So some of that doesn't quite make sense. Design on this piece, very interesting. As I said, they pulled it off really well. Let's talk about the switch outs first. Here is a comic blue head. I'm not really a fan of this at all, not only because I'm not a fan of the comics, but I just don't like it. There's not a lot of detail in it, but we'll look at it closer with paint and sculpt. And here is the normal head. And I like this a lot. I think they did a nice job. There's some paint opportunity on it, but as I said, he's kind of fierce, which doesn't really follow the story for me. Then on his right hand, he can be holding this crystal ball, and I really like that. I think it's really cool. Or he can be doing
2 chicks at the same time, man.
with 2 shockers. And this is a stock photo because I left mine in the box, as I will never use it. So great switch outs, arm switch outs, head switch outs, very cool. As I said, I think there is a light up feature underneath the eye here, but I have to take it apart to do it, and I'm lazy. Remember that at the beginning? Which is kind of a good topic of discussion. You know, if you want to enter to win an extra prize anyway, do you use your light up features? I only do when I do the review, and then never again, essentially, on all my statues. Even ones that are AC adapter and I can connect to the lighting on the displays, I just never use it. Some other really cool things with design here. I like the fact that they added this right here with the spell book. I like the fact that it's not connected. You can display it or not display it. You can move it towards him. You can put it away. A lot of different options here. I love the engineering on this. They have a decently thin cape holding everything up. And this is an extremely heavy statue, guys, surprisingly. So I think that's well done. There are some seam line issues where his arms connect, which is what it is. Nothing horrible, but definitely there. The magnets are all extremely strong. So I think design-wise, it's also a 4 out of 5, a rail. They did a great job. Some seam lines on the arm is really my only recommendation for improvement. Now we're going to check out the paint and sculpt on this guy. And what we'll do is we'll start with this right here first, the pedestal or book. And we'll start at the top, which is a little bit different than usual, as you guys know. But check out the book. I like this a lot. This is pretty cool. I like the paint on this. Has one of his spells here. And the back side of the book, which you obviously wouldn't normally see, even has some good detail on it. Little plain, but still. I like the designs they put in here, the colors. And here's some shots of that pedestal with all the hands. You got a couple things going on. So first of all, I love all the different hands. There's probably about 15 or 16 on here. And I love the elongated fingers, the sharp nails, how they're grabbing each other. And I love the coloring on this bronze color with some of that green like it's aged. You really think of ancient arts when it comes to Doctor Strange. Starting at the bottom of Doctor Strange's base, what's really cool, all along the sides you have this symbol, and I don't know what it means. It's the same symbol over and over again, but it's very similar coloring to the pedestal where the book's on, except a lot more textured. And as you move up, you have these beads that kind of run around the sides. Adds a lot of nice symmetry to this base. Some ornate designs as you move closer to the eye. And it's all these different colors of coppers and browns that mend really well together and then give it contrast. Here's the eye. Looks good. I like the concept of this a lot more than the paint and sculpt. I think the paint and sculpt is very average, and you're going to see that with Doctor Strange as well. Check out his boots and legs here. Some good sculpt in the uniform, so he's not a really muscular guy, and you can't really see his musculature anyway, but you do see a lot of folds in the pants. No seam lines or anything. There's some decent tread on the bottom of his shoe. Sitting in the crisscross applesauce position. If you have children, you know what I mean. Check out his belt, or his sash that's wrapped around his side. The gold really makes it pop. It matches the edges of the cape we're going to see in a minute. The folds look okay on each other. The sculpt's alright. And then you have two really long tassels flowing in the wind, and on the edge of those is some red coloring with some texture and some design. Let's move up on his torso, and I would say this is his cloak. So as you saw on the legs, it kind of falls over the edge, the sides of his legs as well. But you have this symbol on the front, this textured symbol, almost looks like a devil or a pitchfork. It's a different color blue than the back of the suit, and the back of the suit is very similar to the pants. It's a lighter blue, so you have 3 or 4 different blue colors going on in here. But you see the same folds, not really a lot of anatomy beneath it. But I like how they stretch the shirt where his arms are stretching. And speaking of his arms, because I'm so good with segues, I want to look at these gauntlets that he has on his arms. I really like these actually. It's this gold. It's a mix between gold and bronze and brown. Makes him look pretty badass with some ornate designs on the edges of them, and then these red pearls. His gloves look like some S&M stuff, or BDSM. I'm not into that, so why don't you comment and let us all know if that's accurate. Some leather tight gloves, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Check out the crystal ball. It's very, very cool. It's not transparent. It is highly reflective. You can see that in the photos here. And because it's circular, the reflection is kind of a strange shape. But I like all the star-like crystals in it. Very, very cool. Before we get to his portraits, let's look at his cape really quick. Here's all the gold on the sides. It looks great. I think it's a good addition to this piece. Gives it more contrast, makes him look more magical. And then just the cape in general. It's got a lot of black shading in it. Flows really, really well. Another eye symbol on the back. It's almost, actually, this is the base exactly now that I look at it. Let's check out his Dr. Manhattan portrait. I said it. Looks just like Dr. Manhattan. Not a lot of detail in this. You do see some of the bones, some of the musculature, and I'm not familiar with this portrait in the comics at all. Almost looks like he's wearing a mask. Maybe to match his gloves and his shockers, I don't know. And the whited out eyes. And no expression on this. His other portrait, I really like the sculpt on this. I think they did a nice job. All the hair sculpted in. The variations on the hair color, you got his facial hair is brown, his hair is black, he's got your classic Reed Richards. The paint on mine is not very good. You see a lot of paint blemishes and mistakes, which is probably more a QC thing than an actual art direction paint thing. Same thing with his teeth. His teeth aren't very distinguished. The sculpt isn't the best, and then he needs to brush his frickin' teeth. Rarely do you see a statue or comic book character with teeth like that. But the flesh tones could have used a little bit more red in them, I think. His eyes look like decals. Yeah, so I think some big misses on the paint, particularly with the portrait. And then the body paint and the rest of it, very average. I think the paint on the sides of the base is kind of the best. But so the paint, I think it's very nice. You got some good things and some things I would improve. And this is an older piece. And I think the sculpt falls in with that same thing. It's very nice as well. And we're not going to rate value, although I would say value is pretty damn good when you can get him for like $600-700 shipped. So it's a cool piece. I definitely prefer him over the Sideshow Collectibles of what I've seen of that at least. But overall statue, I think is a very nice statue. He's right in the middle. I think because I don't have as much affinity towards Doctor Strange, that hurts the statue a little bit. But obviously that's shared by a lot of people because he's so easily to get under retail. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the first review I think I've shot in 5 days, so if I was a little bit off, go f yourself. No, I do appreciate you guys watching. I really mean that. And as always, here is some detailed close-ups to you. And as always, here's some detailed close-ups for you guys. So if you like this, make sure you not only subscribe to the channel by hitting that Extreme logo, but also check out some other XM Studios statues that I own.